We live in a world that is specifically engineered to make sure that we never have to be hungry for more than, 3 minutes, right? If you are, hey, there's an app for that. If you're bored, we got a screen for that. Lonely, there's a platform for that. The entire architecture of our modern lives is designed to preempt desire before we can fully feel it, which means most of us have genuinely lost touch with what we actually want. Right after Jesus' baptism, the clouds parting, the dove descending, the voice from heaven, he goes immediately into the wilderness. 40 days, no food. And the first thing the devil offers him at the end of it is bread. Simple, obvious, legitimate. Bread. Jesus is genuinely hungry. And he says humans do not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. That's not a religious platitude. That's a man who has spent 40 days discovering that there's a hunger underneath the hunger. And that's the one that actually matters. Let's be honest about fasting's PR problem. It sounds punitive. It sounds like something we do to earn God's favor or punish ourselves for our failures. It sounds medieval. Most of us associate it with either extreme religion or extreme dieting, neither of which feels particularly spiritually nourishing, so we skip it. But here's what actually happens when we fast, even a small fast, skipping one meal. The noise in our lives gets quieter. That low-grade hum of wanting that runs under our whole day becomes audible. And when it becomes audible, we can actually do something with it. We can interrogate it. We can ask, what am I actually hungry for right now? Is it food? Or is it rest, connection, meaning, forgiveness? Fasting doesn't produce those answers. It produces the silence in which we can finally hear them. We live with chronic appetite confusion. We reach for food when we're lonely, for screens when we're bored, for busyness when we're afraid. Not because we're broken, but because we've never trained ourselves to pause between the urge and the action long enough to identify what the urge is actually about. We are just concerned with quieting it. And those other things do quiet it, whether they solve it or not. So fasting is that pause, extended and intentional. And here's the other half of the spiritual practices that we miss: feasting, right? Our Haven Spiritual Practice Guide pairs these together on purpose. We fast to remember that we're not in control, that everything is a gift. And we feast to celebrate that it's true. The Samaritan stopped and poured out oil and wine. Jesus turned water into wine at a party. The disciplines of hunger and abundance belong together. They're two sides of the same coin, the same recognition that life is given and not earned. So here's the invitation for this week. Choose something to fast from. Not forever, just a defined window, a meal, social media for a day, coffee, whatever you reach for automatically. And when the urge hits, don't white knuckle it. Just pause and ask, what am I actually hungry for right now? And just write down what comes up. That's the practice. The hunger is the teacher, so let it teach. Can't wait to hear how we're processing our fasting this week in our beacons. Until then, grace and peace go with you.